First Swaggy V, First Swaggy Vet.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody?
I'm one of your hosts. I'm Big Pen.
Big
And
Pen.
yep. So we got a special guest today. I've known this brother for 23 years. Coming to the stage, we got Mr. John Ford. What's up,
Hey,
Fody
what's
Poe?
going on?
What's going on,
What's going
Ford?
on, everybody? How y'all doing
Swaggy
out
Vet.
there? Oh,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you that merch look good on you too, brother.
oh, you like the hat too? Yeah.
I see, I see you
First try,
shining,
that joke
Ford.
on there. That joke on there.
I see you shining.
Up, Johnny. How y'all doing out there?
You look good, Ford. You look good, man. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Jonesy.
Man, likewise.
Man, we just brought you in here, man, because you one of the OGs with the journey that we was on. So we was like, man, what better than to bring one of our brothers on, John Ford, Surfers Class retired. How does it feel being retired?
Oh man, brother, I tell you, it's a good feeling being retired. The word retired doesn't mean I don't work anymore. It just means that I left that army life, that paratrooper life in the background. I left it in my rearview mirror, but not as out of disrespect, but as to move forward with my new lifestyle.
Absolutely, man. So for the people that don't know you, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I could be long-winded at times, so I hope we got enough airtime.
Give us the cliff notes.
I'm gonna give you the cliff notes real quick. I was a young man that was married to my wife Brandy. Y'all know Brandy. We still pushing it together. We from out of Slidell, Louisiana. I joined the Army. My first duty station was Fort Polk, but politically correct, I'm gonna call it Johnson. But Fort Polk was my first duty station, and then I became a paratrooper and wound myself out. Found myself landed boots on ground at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Yeah, buddy. So the universe.
Where I met some people that I remember to this day. Is I'm really honored to call everybody that I met on Fort Bragg and Delta Company 782nd, my extended family that I will never forget.
Absolutely, man. So I know you had your long journey in the military, various deployments, a lot of good things. How has it been with your journey in the military and then getting out? And for those who don't know, my man is a police officer in Louisiana currently.
So to answer your question, Big Pen, military was like a roller coaster, but I could count on my hands the good and the bad, and the good has outweighed the bad. It started at Fort Polk, but where it picked up at and went full steam ahead was when I landed in Delta Company 782nd.
Absolutely.
And we, as y'all know, we deployed to Iraq 2003, 2004, and we was under the phenomenal ship of Biggie Smalls.
Oh, yeah.
First Smalls, I know y'all remember him. You cannot forget. All right, we had a couple good officers, but without that diamond leading the way, leading the pack, I don't think half of us would have made it back from Iraq, to be honest with you.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
But my journey was very positive 95% of the time. And when I started to transition outside the military and go into a new profession, it was hard. It was hard to cope with that first year. It was hard to deal with, but I had to stay resilient, which was something that was taught me out of Delta Company, is to stay resilient.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, Delta Company was such a good company. And we kind of in the last episode, I learned so much, and it was such a good group of ship and individuals in Delta Company that it molded me through my military career. I took all of the good and then implemented it through my military career. So it was definitely an amazing experience at Delta Company.
Oh yeah.
So 40. After
What's up?
retirement, what inspired you to be a police officer?
So after retirement, man, that's a good question, Jonesy. After retirement, I had to figure out what it was I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Because I knew sitting at home doing absolutely nothing wasn't an option. And I don't play video games, so I wasn't about to sit at home and play Nintendo or Atari. So I'm a. What helped me make that decision to go into law enforcement was the structure that I have learned being a U.S. paratrooper. All right, the discipline, the standards to fight, to keep pushing forward, and always humanitarian aid. Wherever the 82nd was called out to for humanitarian aid, we serve the public, we serve the people, and we help protect the people. So I had to find something out of life that could give me that same structure. And the only thing I kept coming back to was being law enforcement. And that is my second career, and it's a challenge. It expects you to stay resilient through rough times, good times. The training is phenomenal. It reminds me of the training we received when we were in the military. So I landed on something that, in my opinion, mirrors the military life way of life.
Oh man, that's a great answer. I 100% agree because when I got out, I was looking for that structure too, and I didn't find it. So
What about that? What about that level as well?
As far as
Does it still look for that joy, the excitement, the threat level? Is
oh,
that
I'm gonna tell you. So part of me, and I should have spoke about this in the history. I was, saying I was NFL potential, but my personality starts from athletics.
Mhm.
I was very competitive as a prep athlete out of Slidell, one of the best running backs that ever walked through that area. To also play some college and semi-pro football, to also wind up boxing for the division, the 82nd Airborne division. Competitive. So when I landed on law enforcement, it be that same thrill because I like to go. I like the rush. I like the excitement. We don't do the same thing every day. Every day is a different day when you go to work, when you put that uniform on. But the key thing is that gives me that to keep pushing forward is that every day I get to help somebody. Every day I could help somebody with a problem. I could help somebody figure they probably can't figure out for themselves when it comes to their children, when it comes to raising children, when it comes to they having marital problems. It's almost like you a counselor on four wheels. That's what it
um,
feels like.
that kind of my next question. How has your leadership in the military and your experience in the military, how has that helped you with your police career and policing?
So that's a good question, Ben. So I'm gonna tell you, like I said, we've had some leaders. I'm on my perception of leadership and the leadership that I fell under back in Delta Company. Like I said, we call him Biggie Smalls. Okay, First Sergeant Smalls, who was the command sergeant major. I think my brother wound up doing with 35 years. His leadership was the foundation of the type of soldier, the type of paratrooper I became. Okay.
Yeah.
When I landed into Delta Company from out of Fort Polk, Louisiana, I feel I had to fight, the fortitude to win. But when I got to Delta Company, it made me want to grow. And under his leadership, that developed and instilled the discipline in me. If anybody remember me when I was a brand new E5, I was strict. I was by the book. Because why?
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls pulled all his NCOs together and said, I need NCOs to lead. And he led me and us. He led by example. If y'all brothers probably don't remember this as far as leadership, to lead, you have to lead from the front and you have to lead by example. Meaning when that man was in a critical bike accident, motorcycle, almost lost his life. Shortly after that, he shows back up to that formation on a 4-mile run from the front and completed it with his dogs. That's leadership. Just setting it by example.
Man,
and that's what helped me want to go the route that I wanted to go to, because it all starts from that leadership of structure, discipline, honor, duty, respect. Okay, to on to the next career, my next life. What I did was I took that development from Delta Company 782nd and brought it with me into my new career.
Smalls used to run the dog mess out of us. Oh, man. Oh no! When he said we doing the Burger King run, oh man! Hey,
burgers.
our company was right there on the corner of Long Street in Ardennes.
Oh
And
man,
when we used to make that left on Ardennes, and he said Burger King, man, it's finna be a long morning.
God forbid if you was drinking the night
Oh
prior.
man, bro.
That would be McKinstry.
Yeah, that's my boy McKinstry all day. Coming to formation, spell like lace the book. But he never fell out.
Never.
That man never fell out. That man could run, bro. McKinstry could run. That man never fell out.
Hey, you couldn't fall out. I wish you would fall out.
Oh.
He never fell out, man.
You've been a whole separate formation.
Yeah, he had the NCO in the back. Hey, get the
Stragglers. Well, there's so when you had got to, so I see you brought some traits and everything when you did your career change. So were there some things that when you first got to the military, you understood that, hey, this isn't the same. Everyone's not the same values that I do, or the same tenacity, or the same drive. All right. So when you first got there, so what were some different things that you really felt that you was about to make an impact on when you realized that, hey, maybe what's the differences that you saw when you went into the career force?
So it's one thing you have to accept. Not everybody, that's a key thing that you said, not everybody's the same. Not everybody gonna have the same amount of discipline. Not everybody gonna have the same amount of fortitude to keep pushing forward. Some individuals may give up before the next. Some push further and push her body to the limits more than the next person to his left or right. So with that being said, I had to accept that, okay, I'm in this new profession, my new way of life as a civilian, transforming from a paratrooper of over 20 years to now a civilian that's still looking for that structure. But that structure ain't always there because not everybody is going to be held to this or have the same standard as you. You feel what I'm saying? So when I got to where I made that transition, I had to tell myself, be patient, be humble, because some is not going to move like how we used to. Like, tell me all the time, John, you got to develop more patience. You got to have patience. It's not going to happen right then and there like you want it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When the dude say it's time to move, you move. There's no, well, we move late. So that was a big transition for me to accept that part of my new life. Like, nothing is a wait process. They'll wait longer and then they're going to move on their time. The key thing is this, and I think every veteran of leadership, point of leadership, whether you was running a team or even a squad to a command sergeant major, one thing you have to realize when you make that transition is you're not in charge anymore. That was a big roadblock for me because I was always, when I'm in charge of something and I take ownership of good or bad, when I'm in charge of something, I want to not only impress myself or my family, but I want to impress my leadership to show them that I support their avenues of approach. Okay. So when I transitioned from being that paratrooper, that song first class, or that first sergeant, or whatever you might want to call it at time, and I made that transition, I had to literally sit back and say, I am the lowest man on the totem pole. I have no rank. I have no voice at this point, this early in my career. I have to be humble and I have to sit back and enjoy the ride. And that's what I've been doing for the past going on 4 years now, to be honest with you. Is humble. Hey, yes, sir. No, sir. Keep it moving.
Yeah, man. I know that's a big thing because I know you probably see people do stuff. You're like, man, I don't know if you're supposed to do it like this, but I know it's probably hard to take a step back and do that. I think we lost John. We lost John.
I think maybe he said something about maybe possible his equipment wasn't fully capable mission.
So we'll move on.
Okay.
All right. What would you give veterans considering a career in law enforcement?
What advice would I give the veterans that are considering a career in law enforcement? I could tell you this: a positive but stressful profession. So if that veteran is looking to remove himself from the stress that he endured for 2 to 20 to 30 plus years, law enforcement may not be that avenue of approach for him or her.
Oh, okay.
I made that choice for myself because, yeah, being in charge of the military was stressful, answering for, problems or bad, being on that hot seat. When I decided to go into law enforcement, I had to tell myself, am I ready for whatever comes, good or bad? Am I ready to continue to accept that and own up to my mistakes, own up to what I've done wrong? If I violated a policy, didn't know nothing about, but I'm gonna up to whatever I did wrong, because that's what us paratroopers do. We honor, duty, respect. So I tell a veteran, if you want to go into law enforcement, just be ready and prepared to live the 7 Army values. All right. Be ready to maintain those values, because you are going to be held to a standard above your peers, even in the civilian sector. I may be a civilian, but when I put my uniform on every shift, I look myself in the mirror. I make sure I'm dressed. Make sure my boots are spit shine. Then I grab my wife, a hold of my wife, her hands, and we pray before I go on any shift. And I ask the Lord to come inside of me and he make good sound judgment decisions, because every situation is different.
Oh yeah.
So you have to enforce the law. Just like as a soldier, as an NCO, a non-commissioned officer of the United States Army, what do? We enforce UCMJ. We enforce the regulations. So it's the same thing, the same concept. And veterans like us, like myself, that needed that structure in his life to keep moving forward, that I landed, and that's where I'm most happy right now in my life, is in the career that I'm in right now.
That's good. And I didn't even know, because Brandon, when he was talking earlier, I didn't know that they let your military service like time carry over. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that a lot of, and this for all the veterans that's interested in going to law enforcement, a lot of agencies will take your military federal service time and bring that over with you. Like you do years, they're not gonna take all 20. It's a math that they do behind. So say, okay, we're going 7 years and pay you off that. So it just know that there is a plus for being a veteran, regardless of service, whether you're Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force, Space Force, or whatever they got going on out there. You fall under that category of having your time crossover.
Yeah. And I know you spoke before or yesterday. You all the time you did in the military, you just like, man, I just want to get out and do this. I don't want no responsibilities, nothing like that. But if you have somebody that's hungry and does want to excel, do you think it's easier as a veteran?
I'm gonna say yes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because in my opinion, this is my opinion. This is not facts, but I'm gonna give you my opinion. In my opinion, you take a Marine, you take a paratrooper, you take a Ranger, you take a SF guy, you take a Delta Force guy, you take the basic average military service member. That individual is going to perform his or her duties the right way. They're going to perform their duties because that's what's expected of them, and they know this. And they know if I got to be somewhere at 1,300 hours, that's telling me not to show up at 1,300 hours. That's telling me to show up prior to 1,300 hours. And it starts there. It starts there. And that's the part of the discipline that I'm talking about. Okay. The have respect for other people, to include yourself. You got to have respect within yourself before you can respect other people. All right. The honor. It's an honor. Obviously, it was an honor to put that uniform on if you was in the military. You wore a uniform. It was honorable to do that.
That's right.
And for inspections, you look good. So the crossover civilian sector in that type of profession is the same thing. You're not going to show up to your agency, whoever that may be, whether it be federal agency, state agency. You're not going to show up looking like a bag of rocks. I hope not. You're going to show up with your boots shine, the uniform pressed, you standing up straight with confidence. Okay? And it's an honorable thing. It's an honorable thing to not what is an honorable thing to serve the people. That's what veterans have to realize. You serve your nation. You serve your country. You went to combat when your country has called upon you. Now you going into this law enforcement profession. Now you are serving the people of your community. And when the people of your community call for you for your assistance, it's time for you to go to work. You can't say no. You can't say no. Man, let me tell you something. We have this position. It's like we high water vehicles, all right? And this goes back to the Delta days. You know, we big trucks, you know. Remember Katrina?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that? We drove them.
Man, the Secret Service stole our trucks because
we had to clean them up. And the Secret Service came and took our vehicle. Man, look, that was a long ride from Fort Bragg, the motor pool of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, from the heavy deuce all the way down to my neck of the woods, Slidell, because we went through Slidell, Louisiana first, then we hit New Orleans over the bridge. Hey, we got up in there and we served the people, man. So one thing I like about the organization in which I work for, we have generally the same thing. We have these high water vehicles, man. And I volunteered to operate one of the things because in the event of natural disaster or I am needed, I want to be that guy that they could depend on, one of those guys. I don't want to be the only guy because we are a team, but I wanted to be one of those guys that can operate that vehicle if need be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In a situation. So it's the same thing. For me as a veteran, I'm actually, it's therapy for me to find that career that makes me feel like I'm still serving the public. Because as soldiers, as paratroopers, as military service members, we sign that contract to not just go to war, to not look good in our uniform, but we sign a contract because we are serving the people and we are protecting the communities. So it's the same concept.
Yeah. Hey, John, 6, brother.
All right. Okay. So 40. In ways that the law enforcement agency better support veterans transition into civilian life and their careers.
I'm sorry, Jonesy, you kind of cut out. I think it's on my end. What did you say?
I say, in what ways do you think law enforcement agencies can better support veterans transition into civilian life?
That's a good point. So, being that I am now served and currently serving, I've been on both sides of the fence. All right. I was once a veteran that had no law enforcement experience. And then now I'm in law enforcement and I have law enforcement experience along with military experience. And there's a lot of civilians now that are service members, that are veterans, that suffer from what we call and known as PTSD. And we all know there's different levels of PTSD. I have PTSD. Penn, I know you got PTSD. Jonesy, I know you got PTSD. But it's different levels of PTSD. All right. And as a law enforcement officer speaking from me, and I take this so heartily and passionately when I get a call on my radio of someone asking for help, crying out for help that suffered from PTSD. I want that call. I want to be the one to show up on scene to that veteran. Because it's one thing I've learned, and I've dealt with a couple of these calls, is a veteran, our brother and sister that is in trouble, they relate to you when they know you have walked in their shoes. Mm-hmm. When they know you've been where they walked the same path. Okay, they have a more respect for you and are willing to listen because they feel you understand them. Whether you agree with their decisions or what they're doing at that point in time or not. But in their mind, what I've learned is that they respect you because they feel you can relate. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what my brothers and other organizations of the United States that represent the blue, my advice to them is when you're dealing with a veteran of any magnitude, male or female, have patience. That is about the only way you could really gain control of the situation. Because if you go in there with your chest out and I'm in charge and all that, man, if that dude's got severe PTSD, now things done escalate. And we supposed to de-escalate. That is our main mission as peace officers. We are there to de-escalate any situation that may arise. So when I show up on scene, knowing that I'm dealing with a veteran, I'm automatically humbling myself, soft-spoken, and I want to get to know about that individual first. And then I roll off into, hey, brother, well, look, I feel you. I've been there myself. I've been in that situation. You know, I'm a veteran. Look at me, they're like, what? And then some of them, I kid you not, some of them, when I come up on scene, some of the veterans, one of the first they notice is my 82nd Airborne tattoo. So that right there tells him, well, he's in the military. You see what I'm saying? And it builds that bond, that connection. Now, for the ones that didn't serve, there's nothing against them. This is just all opinionated based off of as a veteran to a veteran. And now I am wearing blue, which means my main mission in life is to serve the people. The people that I serve, I owe them my time. And when as a veteran, I owe him even more of my time because I know firsthand what that guy has been through. It's all about patience, brother. It's all about being humble, resiliency, and you know, but there was one point in time I kind of got, you know, the agent currently now. Let's get that straight. The agency I am with currently right now, okay? I'm not going to put the name out there, anything like that, but it's phenomenal. Very, very professional.
Awesome.
One of the I have seen perform since I've been on this earth. Okay. Now, at one point, I was somewhere where, you know, I wouldn't, but I was working with a guy, and I'm not gonna call no names and nothing like that. I was working with a guy, and I get a call about a veteran left on side of the road, and with luggage. He had about 5 suitcases and some bags. Just left on side of the road, and this business, I'm not going to name the business, but this business took him in to try to help him, and they called, they said, we don't know what to do. So basically, I answered that call. I got, you know, I said, hey, put me en route. I'm en route to him. So I get there, and I see this elderly man with an arm, like he probably had a stroke in the past. He did show me a veteran card. He did 20 years of military service, which means he retired. Okay. And I said, sir, what's going on? He said, well, I'm from out of Texas, and I paid these people to bring me to Louisiana, and they dropped me off and said they'd be right back, and they never came back. And I said, well, did you give them the money already? He said, oh, I gave them the money before we left out of Texas. What was the name of that? What was the name of that veteran place that I had? It was called a veterans place. Well, so basically, long story short, that right there it didn't sit well with me.
Probably fired you up, huh?
I made it was obligated. I was that man. Because that is one of our brothers and sisters who was just taken advantage of, who has served his country. And some means of people decided to take advantage of him, take his money, and leave him stranded.
That's crazy.
Called a city of refuge is where I assisted that man into getting to a city of refuge. And what they do is an organization that take on homeless veterans to get them the help on their feet. Okay. So I had to do all my research. I had to figure, because I didn't know any of this at the time. So I had to take time out of the day, and we were very busy that day. We was dealing with fights, shootings, stuff going on. And I said to myself, I'm not leaving this man until I know this man got somewhere to go. This veteran has a home to go to. Because I'm not going to go to my house at night and sleep knowing this guy is still homeless out on the street because somebody took advantage of him. Mm-hmm. So one of my buddies, my co-workers, was upset with me because he said I took Holly too long and invested too much time into taking care of that because other things needed.
Wow.
Let me tell you something right now. They can say and feel how they want. But when it comes to a veteran of any branch of service, male or female, black or white, it don't matter. They can only have served for one day. Mm-hmm. I am obligated veteran out.
That's right. I feel the same way, 40.
And what gives authority, more tools in my kit bag to help that veteran out is I work for the team in blue. And if other people feel like how I feel the world between the veterans and policing, because that's all about policing. Policing up the community, policing up our veterans. And policing up our veterans ain't about just putting handcuffs on them, arresting them, because they got, y'all know we got veterans out there. Some people need to go to jail. Some people need to be arrested, but not everybody. Every situation is different. Not everybody needs to go to jail. And that I'm a firm believer in that. Some people just need help, mental health.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have to have a plan in place to say, now I learned from this. Well, now I know about the city of refuge. So if I ever come into this situation again, I can send them to the city of refuge. I got their contact information. So to better build that structure between veterans and policing, as a peace officer, let's have a more paired readiness kit for local areas, local agencies that are to take these men and women in that need our help. Because jail ain't the answer for most. It's not the answer. We need around the inner cities. I think we need more shelters for our veterans. Okay, not to single it out or not to say, oh, they're better than that guy, they're better than that person. So why should we focus on getting a home of refuge for the veterans? Because of the word, just veteran alone speaks for itself. These are men and women that had took their time out of their lives and sacrificed. They sacrificed their families, their time, their livelihood to be redeveloped in women to fight for our freedom. So that's why we should have a more structured focus on helping the veteran than incarcerating the veteran.
Hey man, 1% of the nation, and I don't even know if it's that much, raised their hand to defend it. So it's crazy.
So veteran people are special, in my opinion. Do I consider myself special? I don't like to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, yeah, I'm special. But I say, as a family, as a structure, in a military background, like you said, at 1%, we are special. We are a special breed of people that raise their right hand to say, you know what? I am going to give up my life to help protect what we all call home, United States of America.
100%, brother. Hey, what do you think? What kind of misconceptions do you think there is between the intersection of law enforcement and military? And what I mean by that is some people may think stuff a certain way in the military and law enforcement. What do you think the misconception of both of them are? Do you understand?
If I'm tracking with what you're trying to of the military and law enforcement structure, is that what you're trying to ask?
Yeah, where they intersect.
Well, I mean, basically, it mirrors each other. It does. Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, every time I uniform go to work, I honestly feel like in the back of my mind, I never left the military. It's still I'm going to work, but I feel like I'm still part of some type of military. And some people in the public don't like, oh, we don't want a military type of policing, this and that. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that structure, okay? That's bad in everything. All right. In the military, everybody's like, because you are a soldier, everybody there is good. Everybody there is squared away. Everybody there is, the cream of the law enforcement is all cops are good. Oh, everybody's good. But let's be realistic. That's not the facts. Just like we have troubled soldiers, we have troubled brothers and sisters in blue. There's nothing perfect in this world. Not even myself, not you, Penn, not you, Jonesy, and y'all over 2 decades. All right. Nobody is perfect. So for people out there to think that just because you in the military is perfect, or just because you a first responder, you're perfect, or they're perfect. No, you're going to have problems. But the number one key is don't judge everyone off of one man's mistake.
Yeah, we get that a lot.
So that paratrooper over there decided he want to commit a crime. Don't categorize every service member and every paratrooper. Oh, they're all alike. Same thing with my family in blue. Just because one mess up, don't categorize all of us and say, oh, they all like this, because that's not the case. Because if you know me, within me personally, if you know me like y'all know me, I'm a person and I care about people and I care about what it is that I do. And I don't like looking bad. If anybody know me, I don't like looking bad. If I look bad, I own up to it. But then I'm sorry for cussing.
No,
I make doggone sure, again, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Okay.
I got it. So that's how you stay. You would say that's how you stay motivated and focused while you're under pressure for it.
Hey, you got to stay motivated and while you're under pressure. And I'm glad you said that, Jonesy, because that is one example how my new career lines up with the military. Because y'all know when it was go time, you know, we getting suited up, everybody getting all hyped up. You got to stay motivated and go. And then when that door opens up and all that wind gushes inside that iron flying can, and you got your buddy in front of you, your buddy in the back to you, and the green light come on, poof, you gone. That adrenaline, that pump is gone. Man, I'm in my role. I call it my rolling office. When I'm in my rolling office and I'm going to a high call, I got that same juice, brother. It's that same juice. So it's almost like therapy for me. It's almost like some type of therapy for me because I've always, like I said earlier, have been competitive. I love sports. I love to compete. I love the to box. I love football. Those are my things I did. Y'all remember I boxed in the division because I wanted to compete, and I needed. We couldn't jump every day. We couldn't jump 24 hours, 7 days a week every day. So I needed something to keep me going, and that was boxing, that was weightlifting, powerlifting, all that stuff. So now when I exit out the military, and I believe I told you this the other day, Penn, I said, man, I went to a state of depression. Because when I was getting out of the military and I signed and I looked at my orders in my hands, I was in my office, or should I say my cubicle? I was at my cubicle and I looked at my orders in my hand and I said, it's been approved. There was no it's stamped by Department of Defense, approved. Right. So now they give me 12 months to transition, and out from that point on. Didn't tell nobody at work. I didn't get with Druid. Y'all remember Command Sergeant Major Druid? She was inducted into the Hall of Fame, by the way. So y'all might want to reach out to her and give her a call. Command Sergeant Major Druid. She has made history in the making of the United States Airborne, United States Army as a U.S. paratrooper. So, but this is not her right now. I don't want to linger too much on that, but just route to Druid and get her involved in Swaggy Vets because I think she will be a prime candidate for a positive women role model in the military. Back to what I was saying, that go time. Brother, I'm 48 years old. I may not be in the best shape of my life, but what keeps me going is the motivation. When I wake up, I know I still got to go to the gym. When I wake up, I know I still got to pass a what? Somewhat of a physical fitness test. Nothing that endures like the military, but it's something. I know I got to do what? I got to go to firearms training, and I got to qualify with my weapon. I got to qualify with my 9mm, and I got to qualify with my M4. I got to qualify with my tape. I got all these qualifications that are required of me. That is what keeps me going. Okay? My next life after this second career, said to myself, man, I'm gonna open up my own business. I'm a detail caller because I'm a dress right, dress type of guy. If you get car detailed by me, you better believe that joker gonna be clean. It's gonna be glistening. You'll look like glazed donuts. Okay.
Hey, remember when we was boxing, we used to detail cars to get money for the boxing team.
I remember that.
Yeah, and you were showing us
started that.
You showing us how to do it. I remember that.
But Bernard Smalls put them car washes together to help us raise money for our division boxing team, so we'd be squared away. And he had us dealt the dogs out there. And yeah, I always took pride in washing my personal cars, my Humvee. Those of these brothers and sisters that are listening to this right now that remember me as an OCT out of Fort Johnson, Fort Polk. My Humvee that was issued to me, that joker will stay clean. That is my Humvee. Right here now with the agency that I work for, you give me some 4 wheels, you better believe that joker gonna shake. Days that it rain, I'm gonna wash it 2-3 times after that, same day. Because one thing, Penn, like you guys asked me, what is it the same? Yes, it's the same because in the military they teach us what to take care of, PMCS, and to take care of our equipment. To be prepared and ready for the mission. So I carry that with me now. I go outside, get ready to crank my rolling office up. Guess what I'm doing? Checking oil. I'm looking to see if there's any leaks underneath my car. I start it up, check the heater, check the AC. I boot the system up. I PMCS my equipment, brother, and your equipment, preventive maintenance. Part of doing preventive maintenance, can you check anything and make sure things is operational if it's dirty. Keep it clean, baby. Keep it clean.
Yeah, well, if you don't schedule maintenance gonna schedule for you because it's great.
Exactly. That is a prime fact right there. You will be left on side of the road. Remember that in certain missions we go out on, man, when we was in combat, we like, We tell our paratroopers, yes, them trucks, because this paperwork all look like it's mirroring the same missions ago. That's gonna be you out there in the Dust Bowl, broke down, and the enemy gonna be looking at you like, oh, they broke down on the side of the road. Now you gotta be in an unnecessary firefight because you didn't want to PMCS your piece of equipment and had no oil in it, and you know, lock the motor up. Now we out there pulling 360 security because now we gotta wait for a record to come out here. And we already 2 days out from the fire.
We hurting.
So I go to work. I'm off today and tomorrow. When I go to work, you better believe I don't work on my stuff now. We're not authorized to do any work on our stuff, but I do look at what can I possibly see an issue or a problem, and I address that with we have a shop, phenomenal shop, that's by a good man. He takes pride in the equipment, and I get with him. I say, hey man, I see something like this going on to prevent anything from further happening. Can y'all check it out? It's the same thing, man. We got a motor pool just like the military. Got a maintenance bay just like the military got a maintenance bay. We got uniforms just like the military got uniform. Structure just like the military got ship. Just like the military has leadership. So I tell veterans out there, if you're looking for a career to keep that spirit going, law enforcement may be a career for you.
Yeah, man.
It's an option. It's a positive option.
Hey, so when you getting out, and I told the story too, when I first got out, I was a little bit depressed. Just getting back that prioritize your mental health. Prioritize your health.
Your mental health is a very, very, very important thing. All right. Like I said, different levels. And I'm no doctor, but we all know there's different levels of PTSD. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's different levels of what may affect you, may not affect me. What affect Jonesy may not affect you, but it also affects me. Every man and woman is different within their way. Our minds are not the same. Some stuff is like I know Jonesy seen some stuff, and I know Penn, you seen some stuff, and it may not affect us at all. But it may affect the guy to your left or to your right. That's why there's different levels of PTSD. There's certain things that bother me. You know what bothers me the most, and I don't mind sharing this. All right, combat, which we've been through three tools. All right, combat is not easy. It's never easy. But what I share with people what the most is living with guilt. Is a long time with, and why did I come home? But the guy next to me didn't.
Yeah.
This man is no longer with us, and he left behind his wife and kids, and did they not think they would never see him again or her? It bothered me that every time it was time to redeploy back home, it bothered me. I complained about it to my wife. I used to go seek counseling about it. They labeled it as a survival guilt, and death. I guess all my family members such as passed or such, and I'm just like, wife says you go cold, just numb to everything, and it's not. It's just I'm just so used to people's no longer with us, man. You know what I used to dislike the most about our deployments is the rent side ceremonies. I don't know if y'all remember those. But, man, out there, when we had to stand out there in formation, not out of disrespect, I'm always going to respect the fallen. It's just the fact that that's when it affected me. That's when it affected me. I'm out there rendering my honor to the one that has fallen. And in the back of my mind, I know this deployment's almost over with, and I'm going home. I feel some kind of way about that. What made me better than that individual that didn't make it? Was it my skill set? Was it back home after deployments? That wasn't easy. Mm-hmm. And I'm back with my family. But then when I say back with my family, part of me came back with my family. The other part of me, that soldier that has fallen, that didn't get to go back home to his family. And that's one thing that I struggle with. And that when I see veterans that I know I can help that veteran, I'm gonna help that veteran. That's awesome. An extended family. So mental health, you gotta go talk to somebody, man. You can't sit there and just drink pain away. You can't sit there, pop pills, and do this. I'm not saying I'm completely drug free. I'm marijuana, I don't do no pills. I may drink from time to time, but I tell you, my mental health comes from the man upstairs, I pray to God. God is number one. Number two, my mental talk I engage with, the pillow talk that I engage with my spouse, who is, in my opinion, is also a warrior at heart. Okay? Because she suffered through the same things I suffered through, just in her own way. And that's why Biggie Smalls nominated her for the Mary E. Walker Award, which is a high award given to a military spouse in the United States Army. And she was awarded that because leaderships like Biggie Smalls sought out and saw what my spouse, along with other spouses, go through. But my spouse was one of the ones that volunteered her time to help service members doing active duty times of deployment. Number three, you gotta pray. You know, I'm not a believe in. I'm not gonna talk religion and I'm not gonna talk politics. But I'm gonna tell you this: for the man up, for God upstairs is one that keeps me pushing every day when I pray for help, or I pray and I give thanks to the things that I have. I give thanks to the things that I want and it come true. Like this career that I'm in, that's all God, brother. That's all God. I can tell you right now. Yeah, I took the law enforcement exam. Yeah, I went to the police academy. Yeah, I did all this, but God is the one that put this path in my direction, and I'm going down that road because that's where I feel I am better, I am more needed. Because I sit there and I ask myself, this has a lot to do with mental health. I wasn't ready to get out, man. I really wasn't. I wanted to be command sergeant major. I wanted to stay in 30 years, but I got frustrated. My time got short. I'm done. I let my frustration get the best of me. But guess what? What I say to myself is, God wanted it to be this way. For how everything played out in place and where I was at when I was acting, currently at right now, is all God's plan. I am supposed to be where I'm at, and I have come to accept that in my life. That's why, man, look, you know, everybody want to get promoted. Everybody want to be on top. Everybody want to be that leader. But guess what? I am finally in my lifetime, I am humble where I am at. I am comfortable where I'm at. Now, if leadership is asked of me in this new organization, yeah, by all means. Because what did we learn in Delta Dogs? You don't say no. Do you say no to a mission? Do you say no to anything, to any mission? Do you say no? What your response is, how can I better serve this mission and complete this mission? So I'm content where I'm at, but if I'm asked, hey, man, would you step up to the plate? I'm going to complete my mission because that is my mission. God has put me on this path for a reason. Now, I don't know the outcome of this new mission that I'm on. I don't know what is actually in store. So what I do is, instead of those of y'all that know me, I used to go against the grain a lot. But you know what humbled me is I quit going against the grain. You know what I started doing? Just sitting back. I just sit back and enjoy the reckoning God has taken me. God has already got a plan for me. My mental health, man, I'm going to tell you, it continues because I was just seeking help not too long ago. I may have seen this woman for a year or 8 months, by 8 months, a little under a year. All right, I witnessed a terrible car crash. Young lady wasn't even drinking anything like that. Long story short, she got T-boned, and I was the first responding officer on scene that was flagged. I was actually flagged down. The guy said, man, there was a wreck right up the road, and I went to it.
Wow.
As soon as I walked up to the vehicle, I could see that child had no more life left in her. And y'all know I got 3 daughters. I got my son, but I got my girls. And I'm an emotional guy sometimes. I know I'm out all the way. Y'all, you know, I ain't no punk. I'm alpha male. But when I seen that wreck, you know, I'm thinking to myself, somebody's daughter is home today.
Yeah.
And what made it worse, her boyfriend was on scene and witnessed the whole thing, but he wasn't in the vehicle.
Wow.
He was across the street and she was leaving from his presence, and he witnessed his fiance die. Okay, so my mental health, I'm still thinking about stuff that happened to me in the military. I'm still thinking about stuff that I'm currently dealing with that's going on with the new job. But without God and mental health, brother, no man ain't gonna make it. You can't make it alone. You got to seek counseling. So I tell these veterans out there, when you witness a catastrophic event, when you endure that part of your life, eventually you gotta go seek help. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't go up on my own. I currently have a supervisor that reached as if he was a non-commissioned officer of the United States Army in Delta Dog. Because when I tell you this dude took care of me, this dude made sure I was squared away, I was impressed. Because he said, Ford, how you doing, man? I said, oh, I'm making it. I'm just getting ready for work, coming on in, getting ready for shit. He said, well, I know you worked this scene the other night. I want you to go get some help. I said, oh, man, I'm airborne, man. I don't need no help. I'm good. He was like, nah, man. Because they go back, they watch body footage. They watch all your body cam. And I guess there was something some of my actions I may have did that he felt this brother needs some help dealing with the situation that he just witnessed. So, and I'm grateful for that because it actually helped because I was losing sleep. I was having, dreams about it. I kept saying to myself, I have done better to possibly help revive this child, but the child was already gone on site. But I just had a hard time dealing with that. And then with the crowd that was around the vehicle and people all over the place, man, it almost felt like we was back in Iraq and we got to tell everybody to get back from IED scene. I mean, it all ties in together, man. So mental is a big key to success when dealing with veterans, kind of work they may be in. And I keep harping on, because I know the questions is geared towards I'm in now, currently in the career that I left. But man, for veterans in other careers, I mean, whether you a truck driver, whether you a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, they also could use mental health and talk to people. And if they don't want to go through the VA, because sometimes the VA makes me very unhappy. If they don't want to go through the VA, hey, go seek help somewhere else. And you can do that now. You can do that. The VA has gotten a lot better, but I can tell you they still make me mad. They make me mad and they mess with my PTSD. They make me want to not even go there no more. I can't remember the last time I've been to a VA clinic. Not saying all VA clinics are bad. I'm just saying, man, if I need your help, don't try to con me to go get reevaluated or try to play this mind game with me, man. Just help me, man. You feel what I'm saying? Don't play this political BS, trying to figure out, how can you mess me over, Why it take so long for my meds to get here, man? I need my medication. Why is it taking so long? Why can't I not just go to the nearest drugstore and still get my medication the same way I can get it through the VA? There should be a system in place for that. So now I got to wait 7 to 10 business days for my meds to come in when I can go right down the road to a pharmacy and get it. So all that plays a big part in the health, man. So a veteran has to have stand by his side, whether it be a wife, girlfriend, mom, or dad, or some type of extended family to keep him motivated to continue to drive forward.
40. Right. Gave some important lessons that you throughout the combined military and law enforcement. I think one of the most important you gave is you keep the man upstairs first.
Yeah.
Still go in prayer. I think one thing of me listening to your values are strong. And you hold that up from when you first met old Biggie Smalls, and you still hold dear to that. So, I guess the last question we go 40 is like, what be the last insight you would like to listen to the other Swaggy vets out there, that's in the veterans and law enforcement? Just want to lead the other Swaggy vets out there, 40.
Man, I'm going to tell you the message I'm going to leave my brothers and sisters out there of all military organizations, all ranks. Hey, you stay on the grind. Not stop because you no longer military. Life goes on outside the military. And that was once told to me when I was a private out at Fort Polk. Okay. A senior leader wants to take his uniform off. And where you going to be after that day comes? Because that day's coming just like death. One day you're going to die. So it's almost like when you leave the military, your life is like an afterlife. Because it really is. It really is an afterlife. And it could be a good life. It could be a bad life. It's what you make of it. So you have to stay motivated. You have to have a plan. Do not get out the military, veterans. Do not get out the military without a plan. I'm guilty of it. That's why I'm trying to tell you firsthand. Have a set plan in place. All right, you're going on a mission. And this mission is permanent. Because you are permanently removing yourself from your comfort zone and what you are accustomed to. You are permanently moving yourself from an environment that pretty much does almost everything for you already. All you had to do when you was in the military, be in the right uniform, be at the right place and time, and follow your orders. Now you are moving on to a lifestyle of, man, let me tell you something. You're not going to get out of that handed down to you in a civilian world. You got to get it on your own. But you're not gonna be by yourself when you got the man upstairs over you. You're not gonna be by yourself when you got people like I got Jonesy and Penn, extended family members that reach out to me after all these years and still keep in touch. So long as you have a plan in place when you get out, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Have a plan A and B, Alpha and Bravo. Okay? Have 2 plans. Because 2, like they say, 2 is better than 1, 2 plans is better than 1. Okay? So when you out there, man, and you searching for what you going about, put God first.
Yes,
Pray
sir.
about it, put God first. Okay? Talk to your family, talk to your extended family. Get some insight from them, because guess what? I didn't become a man in blue without my spouse's approval. That's right, I said it. I'm a man, I said, of the approval of my spouse that endured me being gone for so many years, for so long. She endured me coming home, my babe, proofread this counseling statement. She endured all the, hey, everything got to be dry dressed at all times. I mean, endured all that. Okay, so the point to make is the spouse, because if you want to keep your spouse, you got a spouse. They already done put up with you. They already done put. Last thing I want to say about that transition is, no matter who you are, you're gonna be nervous. Just like I know Penn and Jonesy, if they're paratrooper just like me. Hell, Jonesy took it to a whole nother level. He's a Ranger, all right? Lead. And I'm gonna tell you this: there's still some stresses in there about getting out. There's still some stress, like, man, am I ready to make this exit? Because you've been doing something for so long. You may talk that game, oh, I can't wait to get out. Man, I can't wait to lead on. How many of us said, I can't wait to get out? But boy, when that day came, was trying to get out, you like, man, I'm actually getting out. It hit you at least once. It hit you.
It was late.
Yeah, you just gotta the only way you can be prepared and mentally focused is put God first and practice a good mental health. Okay, practice a good mental and keep you moving forward. Y'all know we have some of our sisters that took their life. The one that sticks in my mind, and I'm not trying to bring anything down or bring it in, but it's all about the facts of life being in the military. I served with this guy, I boxed with this guy. He's one of the heavy hitters on my boxing team.
Yeah, he won everyone.
I mean, Bridgewater.
Yeah, Bridgewater.
Right? Bridgewater will knock you out. Wow. This kid was resilient. This kid was strong. And we come home from Afghanistan, and he took his own life. Right there. Took his own. We just got home and was enjoying our reintegration period. And I said to myself, I never would have thought this paratrooper would have took his own life.
Yeah.
And when we was working out in the gym at deployment, I even told my wife this. Because when I got the news that he took his life, I kind of said to myself, I seen a sign and I nothing about it. He was sitting in the gym on the incline bench, spaced out. And, Bridgewater wasn't a talkative type guy. Like, he didn't really joke around, like jokingly. He would talk to you. Hey, been going, man. He was on 1-5, was on other. So his little unit had just happened to be on that 5 for a couple of days. Man, he ain't say a word to me. Like, really, like, I don't feel like I was being disrespected. I felt like he didn't want to talk. But I said to myself, he ain't never, out of all the years I done boxed with this dude, out of all the years I've known this dude, he never did that to me. And then 2 months later, we go home and he done took his life. I said to myself, man, maybe I should have said something and try to talk to him then, but I left him alone because I just said, maybe the man just want to be left alone. But man, crazy. It is crazy how some of us come home and we still here. Some of us come home and they take their own life. That's a big deal to me, one of his own life. That's telling me that somehow, some way as leaders, because all three of us in this conversation right now, we are leaders one point in our career, and y'all already know when you lose a soldier, you think to yourself, what did I do wrong? Or why I didn't see no signs on this? Even though it's not your fault, but you think it's your fault because you try to brainstorm on what could you have done to better serve that individual. Because leadership ain't just about wearing stripes. I'm proud of Mike's. Leadership is not just about wearing stripes. Leadership is about taking care of people and knowing. Y'all remember this? The I Love Me book and your soldiers book?
Mm-hmm.
You had to know your trooper's family. You had to know his wife's name, his children's name, they date of birth. You had to know them books about that thick. And depending on your rank, the book may be about that thick. So as a leader, you have to know your people. Now, I ain't gonna say a leader gonna know the man's child's birthday by heart, but he gonna have that information in case you need it. But as a leader, what you gonna know is how your troopers think. You gonna know their personalities. Smalls taught me this. You gotta know when to press on the gas. You gotta know when to let off the gas. Because this is around the time me and McKinstry was about to get into it. I was his team leader. McKinstry didn't show up for formation. I had to go to his house. I found him sitting there with 2 Budweisers open. And I said, man, you didn't come to formation. He said, I ain't going. so I called Biggie Smalls. I said, with McKinstry, he at the house with 2 20 deuces of Bud. Y'all know that's McKinstry's fans and Budweiser. And Biggie Smalls said, so I thought you better get his ass up here. And I'm thinking, how the hell I'm gonna get this man up here? You don't but as leaders, we have to know when to step on the gas, when to let off the gas. All right. And Biggie Smalls taught me that you can't be hard charging all the time, but then again, don't let them take your kindness for weakness. Lead from the front, lead by example. Don't be that leader. Hey, y'all better make that 4-mile run, but he's you in the back with the walkers. You see what I'm saying? You know, you in the back with the walkers, man. And I'm not gonna be a leader like that. I might be a sergeant now, but even when I'm on shift with these dudes, man, I know I'm a little older than them. I'm a lot older than them, but you know, I'm humble. I know my senior case is my son. Oh, wow. What? I'm not in charge. He's in charge, and I've come to accept that. But I know one thing: when I'm in charge, I'm going to lead from the front and set the example the best way I know how. You feel what I'm saying? So McKinstry, I wanted to send a shout out to McKinstry. If he's looking at this, I don't know, but man, I'm proud of that man. I'm proud of that man for what he has become. The last time I seen him, and like I told Penn earlier, we wasn't recording our lead yet, but my thoughts of McKinstry is when we were deploying that was coming off a night shift, and I was going into the DFAC for some breakfast. And McKinstry was standing there with his paratroopers, giving his paratroopers a convoy brief. And I had like a flashback when I had McKinstry when I was his team leader in Swaggy. I'm like, damn that way. And he's shining. Mm-hmm. It was that point we was right outside of Kandahar when I seen that briefing, and I man, like, I'm not saying I had anything to do with that. What I'm trying to say is I watched this guy go from several Article 15s, get busted at least twice, to now he is Staff Sergeant of the United States Army leading what? America's finest, America's God of Honor, fellow paratroopers. That is honorable to have witnessed something like that. In my military lifetime, I know what this dude have gone through. I know what the struggles have been blown up. This dude is a hero. He is a hero in my book, man. Not only is he a hero, man, I consider him family. He my friend. Even though we wanted to kill each other, that's one thing veterans got to understand. You develop an extended family for life.
Absolutely.
I talk to each other every day. You may not, but if you see each other ever again, you will always have them good and bad memories. Because in families, you got brothers and sisters, and guess what? Siblings argue and fight all the time. So for me and McKinstry to argue and fuss, we never got physical. Came close a couple of times, never got physical. But guess what? He is my brother. I am his brother. And we are extended family. And I would give that man the shirt off my back to this day. Just like I know he would do the same for me. That's what the extended family is. That's what being a veteran to a veteran is. That's why I support Swaggy Vet, because I feel it's a program, it's an organization that brings veterans closer together to talk about things that we've talked about, new careers, how to focus on mental health. How can the veteran continue to move forward? I mean, it's a good thing. So when I saw the broadcast with McKinstry on the other day, I was laying in bed going, man, I don't feel like going on shift today, but man, this motivated me right here. And he talked about the grass. Remember the grass? Man, do not walk on that man's grass. You take the shortcut, walk on the grass, he smoked the shit out of you right there. So one thing I want man, he was big on his grass. But I'm gonna tell you one story I remember about my leader. Boy, when they vandalized Jumper, y'all remember Jumper? The mascot, the bulldog.
Oh no.
You know, we were Delta dogs. They tore him up on his 4 feet. We go to formation, the only thing standing on 2 feet implanted in the ground on the concrete. On the stand, and Jumper was knocked over. He put all in formation. He said, "Y'all mad with me? Don't take it out on my dog. Take it out on me." He put it all in front of the cup. Everybody looking like, who did it? But nobody said nothing. And he got that. Y'all remember that gray Chevy he had with the painted on the back?
Yeah.
He had the rubber painted on the back. Man, he burnt rubber, pulled that truck around, picked Jump up off the ground and threw his remains in back of the truck. They took him home. Man. I said it's gonna be a long week. It's gonna top gonna be all up on everybody. Don't even just have, bro. Because they done, and you know the pride that man had in that company. And what did he say? Let me see if y'all remember. What did he say? He stood on top of that balcony when we did the transition from an MSB to a BSB. What did he say when he had to sit down with his leaders? Which paratrooper was going to what FSC? He said there will never be another Delta company.
Nope.
There will never be another organization in which we serve as Delta Company, and you're gonna want his leadership. You're gonna ask for his leadership. You're gonna want that leadership, but you're not gonna get it. Not to that magnitude. You're not gonna get it. Now we had several commanders in Delta Company that were good commanders. I can tell you that because you know why? The person that ran that company was the diamond. How it should have been. That diamond ran that because y'all know well as I know, was no decisions being made without Biggie Smalls blessing off on some shit. Am I lying?
That's right.
Am I 100? Yeah. So when I moved forward to other companies and I started thinking back on that speech he gave us when I was a brand new young E5, I wasn't even E6 yet. And he said, because we would, maybe I was promoted at that time, but he was like, yeah, y'all gonna miss it. Y'all may have hated it. And I started missing it, man, because I started being in companies and I was like, man, I'm not this. Man, I thought, NCO's the backbone of the Army, and then NCO, wait, why we got all these officers dictate what the hell we gonna do? Hell, they don't know what we need to do. We, as NCOs, we know what we need to do. All right? And y'all know that. Now, I'm not against officers. My son's a lieutenant. Y'all know that. But what I tell my son, I said, when you get to your first platoon, you know what you're going to do? He said, what's that, Daddy? I said, you're going to go find that platoon sergeant, whether he be an E6 or E7. You're going to find that platoon sergeant. You're going to say, this is your platoon. What do you need? What services do you need of me?
That's right.
Because the men are going to respect that man because that man been in them ranks for 5 years. You showing up. You showing up out of nowhere. You got to go. All I cared about was the mission at hand, brother. And you tried to destroy me, and it didn't work. I got the man upstairs. Can't no man destroy what God has protected. I got the man upstairs protecting me at that point in time. So I'm not going to elaborate on that, but man, I do believe, because people ask me, man, why you never crossed over to be an officer? Why you didn't stay in? Man, let me tell you, I never thought about being an officer. I've always wanted to be a non-com because I felt what better leader is to lead from being in the trenches with your soldiers. And the only way to be in the trenches, in the fight with your soldiers is to wear them stripes with pride and dignity and respect and push your troopers forward to complete the mission. Josie, you know every mission, and Penn, you too, after every combo on every clip we've been on, when we got by, we would always say, whew, glad that's over with. But you know what? We completed the mission. We made it happen. When trucks would break down, Humvees break down, hey man, we got 2 gun trucks down. We still got to go out. And we going through a hot zone. We still did it. That's
like mechanics. They were some all-stars down. We have a vehicle go down, they be up all night. I seen the muds change a motor night.
Yeah.
Just so we could be fully mission capable to go out the next day.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, and Jones, this is to my brother Jonesy that started Swaggy Vets, the Swaggy Vets. Man, we about to go on mission one day, man, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail. Everybody know I used to wear my wife's picture on my sleeves. Whether we was jumping, whether we was doing convoy operations, whether we was going on patrol, whatever. I wore this picture. And somehow I took the picture off to do something. He had the picture down, and I walked away from my gun truck to make sure every other gun truck was getting squared away. Jonesy, I was an E5 at the time, and I was a new E6. And I got back, and we had Butler. Y'all remember Butler?
Yeah, I remember Butler.
Yeah, we had Butler. So I said, dang, we about to get ready to SP. And I go, dang, where's my stuff? Like, where's my picture? And everybody, grab, y'all remember Grastino, AKA grab it. So I was having an aneurysm because I didn't have what I wanted to bring with me on that mission, because it's something I did every mission. If y'all know, everything I did the same was every mission. Everything I did was the same. All right. So finally, long story short, me and Jonesy at each other's throats, about to kill one another. Finally, my stuff come up, and we miss SP by like 5 minutes, which is, y'all know, you can't miss SP. So me and Jonesy got called into the office. Like, we was in high school. And they was like, well, what happened? And me and Jonesy was like, nothing. So they pulled the platoon in and was like, what happened? Everybody was like, nothing. So the captain pulls us in. He goes, man, y'all got the most, what he say? Y'all got loyal ass platoon. Everybody said they ain't seen nothing, so it's not gonna do. Y'all get your asses back out on that road and complete this.
Hey, was this?
And that's what I'm talking about, man, on deployment, man, that you just not gonna forget. The female ranger, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
All right, she was clear. She's a medic, and she became one of the first female medics. I don't know, Jones, did you serve with her ranger back?
No, I remember when she came to the unit.
You remember when she came to the unit? Well, let me tell you about that young individual right there. Before she even became one of the United States Army, we was about to go on a mission, man. And she's medical bag through all the gun trucks, and she would have her little notepad marking what was in what bag and where the bag sat in the vehicle. Well, she put a bag in my vehicle, and I didn't want it there, so I didn't really think it was that serious. So I took the bag out, and I put the bag in the hatchback of the military, of the MP style Humvee, Dallas Hopkins. Dallas, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's my people. Dallas came by, and she was doing her final check. One thing I said about that woman, she did her job, and then she did her checks, and then she checked again, and then she checked again. Well, she come back and saw that bag wasn't there, and she said, who the hell moved this medical bag out of this truck? And Gravity said, Sergeant Ford. She looked at me, man. Now, I'm a E6, United States Army. All right. She's an E4. Looked me in my face, but she had to look down at me because she stood yay tall. She looking down at me. She said, what the hell are you doing? I said, what do you mean? She's like, I put that bag there for a reason. So if we get a hit, whether it be day or night, and I can't see, you can't see, I know where that bag is positioned. Better serve my platoon when it comes to medical aid. You stay in your lane, so my lane. After she threw the bag, she threw the bag back in the seat. I looked at her, and I looked up at Gravestein in the gun truck in the turret. I looked at him, and I said, that woman crazy. I said, all right, yeah, I'm gonna leave it back. I didn't know how to take it, bro. From that forth on, this woman was gonna make a phenomenal leader one day, and now look at her, one of the first female airborne rangers to step foot in the United States military. That is stuff that I will remember for the rest of my life through the duration of the time I'm on this earth. When I say, man, I got some stories I could tell y'all about the military. I met some good people, and I met some bad people, but I met more good than bad. So the good outweighs the bad. Years that I served, the good outweighs the bad. The extended family that I have met in my life, the good outweighs the bad.
Man,
that sounds awesome, 40-fold.
I love it, 40. I love it, man. I really do appreciate
y'all,
it,
man.
man.
Y'all looking good, man. Y'all staying alive, staying healthy, man. And if y'all back when them towers fell, and we go back to we started deploying to Iraq. I believe Penn one of the ones there, wasn't you?
I was in Delta Company when 9/11 happened, and I was an open post. We didn't have any guard shacks or nothing. So because I went to basic in February 2001, and then I got to Delta, and then September 11th happened, and man, we've been ripping and running ever since.
Ripping and running.
Exactly.
Ripping
So,
and
I
running.
mean, I just remember getting calls from my family. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
fine.
And I remember when Jonesy joined the ranks, man. Always motivated. Jonesy, you motivated. I give a damn what was going on, good or bad. It was bad. Jonesy was motivated. I was like, man, how this dude still motivated? I ain't motivated, man. I'm pissed. But Jonesy would be motivated, man, and a go-getter. You've always been a motivational person and a go-getter. That's why you was gonna climb high to the highest level. You know, when you said you wanted to be a Ranger, I said, yeah, he gonna make it. I already said, I said, Jonesy he's that type. He's not gonna give up. You know, and Penn, one thing about you, man, shit, when it came to a PT test, your ass going 300s before height and weight just wasn't your thing.
No, it wasn't.
And I remember when I was an E5, Pennington was an E4. I got called platoon sergeant to discuss what first sergeant was gonna do with Pennington. And first sergeant Smalls, it was the short guy. What was his name?
Win?
Not Win. It was he was the black guy, motor sergeant.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He filled it with Smalls when Smalls
Yeah.
Bryant to say that.
I can't
remember.
But y'all, so this pulls his office, and he said he always started from the lowest man. He looked at me, he said, Ford, what you think? And I said, man, scored a 300 on his PT test. And he looked at the lieutenant and said, hey, sir, what do you think? LT said, man, he scored a 300 on his PT test. And the captain was in there, I think it was Wolford at the time. The captain was in there, and he said, well, sir, what do you think? Now, keep in mind, Top was only at this time acting.
Yeah.
He's on first class. He said, what you think? And then this is how I know we had good officers in Delta Company. That captain said, I'm going to leave it up to the NCOs. This is y'all's business. Remember that saying? NCO's business? He said, this is y'all's. But I said, in that song first class, I said, if this man could score 300, because he was scoring no damn 300. I said, if this man could score 300 on his PT test, but didn't pass height and weight, but he scored a 300 on his PT test, that's a no-brainer there. There's nothing to be done.
Hey, funny story about Captain Wolford. We used to do the motor stable runs. That big circle we ran around. It was like it was a 5-mile run, pretty much.
5 miles, baby, all day.
I remember he ran with us. He wanted to do PT with our platoon. So we started off on the motor stables run. He was ahead of me. I passed him up. We came around to Long Street. And you know that hill right before we hit Long Street, I hit hard coming up. And the company, he's like, oh my God, I didn't know you could run so good. I tried to catch up with you and I couldn't. So after that, he knew I was a PT stud, man.
And see, that goes to show you, man, you got the book of regulations. You got a book of standards. And the standards say, hey, height, weight, you are to blah, 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 blah. But guess what? A leader is not, there's a book, man. You cannot lead people by book.
No, you can't.
You got to lead people through your experience and what is best for your people. That's how you lead paratroopers. So the right decision was made not to flag Pennington, because what is anybody going to say? Oh, y'all didn't flag Pennington because he failed height and weight. First of all, the method of height and weight to me wasn't fair anyway. You know what I'm saying? They say I'm to weigh 165 pounds because of my height. Last time I weighed 165 pounds. Once you start hitting that iron, baby, you start, lifting weights. You just not, your body just ain't gonna be the same. I fight because of my neck, but at the same time, it's like, why are you telling me I gotta weigh 160 something in order to pass height and weight? Man, there's no way I'm gonna weigh that. That's not my body. I lift weights for a living. So you tell me I gotta stop lifting weights just to make height and weight? But anyway, man, Pennington, my hat's off to you on that, bro. Because I always said to myself, this man has never failed a PT test. He had a problem passing height and weight, but he's got the highest PT score in the platoon, in the damn near in the company. So there's things that I remember about y'all, man, that I used to share when y'all remember when I became a instructor. I was an SGL, and I used to share our stories and things that we've gone through to my class when I would be up front and we have our little side time, because we next slide. The POI. That's it. Right now we need to talk soldier. We sit around and say we're gonna talk soldier talk. And what is one thing that puts in his kit bag, no matter what deployment he on, no matter what humanitarian aid mission he on, no matter what he got going on, what is the soldier gonna put in his packing list? I'm gonna give y'all 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
Pokey bait.
Size pokey bait. That's a good answer, Joe. But it's one thing it's not gonna land, and that's a deck of cards to play some spades. Spades is gonna come out on the table no matter where you at. No matter what deployment you on, no matter what humanitarian aid mission you on, no matter what jump you about to go on, somebody gonna have a deck of cards in their kit bag for some spades, man. I can't remember the countless hours of times we done played spades. And that kept you going. That kept you going, man. That kept you going.
Man, so much on my table.
And then, man, when it's time to sleep, correct me if I'm wrong, but a paratrooper sleep anywhere and lay down at any time. And be comfortable.
Be good.
And good. Oh, it's time to go to sleep. My ass gonna be right on that hard ass rock. And I'm gonna take my ass. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss.
As long as you get in that sleep bag, you good.
You get that. We go out on convoys, man. Some of hood of the Humvee. We sleep on the ground. We sleep. Look, Gravesteen used to sleep sitting up behind the steering wheel. I mean, bro. Come on, man. The gun to be in the gun too and stretched out.
I used to go in the walk kit, pull out the litter, unfold the litter. That's what I see.
Unfold the litter. Put the litter on. Boy, I tell you, look, the LMTV time, man. On the park, you can fit at least 2 paratroopers on me sleeping up. Incoming, come in, everybody pop their head. I remember me and y'all remember first song Win?
Hey guys.
Hey guys, hey, check this out, Airborne. Hey, me and LMTV on the top, and he was a truck master at the time, bro. And we was at some fob, I forget, but he had to come out with us because he would get out the wire. We was out there sleeping. We fell asleep just this bullshit, man. And you hear boom, boom, boy. His little short ass popped up. I swear, bro. He didn't do it. He PLF, man, when he got the hell up off top of that damn truck, man. I mean, he moved and was gone straight to the to the bunker. But I was behind him, but he moved fast like shit off the back of that motherfucker. Man, oh, you remember Goodman?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, old Goody.
Oh man, old Goody, man. Me and Goody was chopping up, bro. Me and Goody, I was about to fly home for R&R. And we was Toyota pickup. Goody bringing me to y'all remember the boardwalk where you get to ice cream, burger, all that. So I Goody, man, I gotta get to the air terminal, man. You bring me up there in the truck, and we're going away to the boardwalk. Man, I want to get some Burger King, man. I'm hungry. He said, yeah, man. So he driving, we rolling, man. We went to park, incoming right dead center, boardwalk, but nobody was playing volleyball that day or nothing.
Yeah.
It came in, bro. When I see 2 grown men hugged, we was in the truck bullshit chopping up. Boom, being good. We hugging each other, man. And I'm like, man, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. I want to go home. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this. God, that was funny, man. And Goody was like, we man. And when that shit was over with, I said, man, I can make it to the terminal. I just want to make it to the terminal, man. Fly up out of here, man. And the last thing I want to say of a remembrance, and this is sad, and my wife could relate to this because we knew one of the guys that actually died in a helicopter crash. We was in Iraq. And
yeah, I remember this.
These guys got blown out of the sky, man. They was going home to retire. They got permission to leave the battle space out of Iraq early, and they Chinook went down, got hit by RPG, and we had to Delta Company got a task and got a mission to send gun truck security to cordon off the areas so a team could come in and grab the remains. And bro, as I was around, because I set the trucks in position, and the one of the senior leaders that was on ground came out there and said, hey, man, 4 bodies that assist with the cleanup. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, man, we're not here for no cleanup. We're here for security. I volunteered myself and 3 other people, and we walking around, man, and I did just like this. I looked on the ground. I picked up. Y'all remember Polaroid camp? I picked up a picture, and it was. I could still see like 4 of them high-fiving each other. So basically, that tells me they took the snapshot while they on back of the bird. We going home. Yeah, we going home. It was when I picked that picture up is when it broke me down. That's when I was like, man, at any given time, your number could be up. And people say, you know, oh, it could be up when you're in the United States. It could be up while you just being at home. But y'all know the number goes up. The odds go up, not in your favor in combat. Do you agree or disagree?
That's right.
You feel what I'm saying? So when I saw that as a young E5 in Delta Company, and I'm like, man, when I saw that picture, man, that had me throw for the rest of the deployment, bro. But I still pushed forward. But I could think about was picking that picture up going, man, them dudes on their way home, and at no moment notice, they got blown out of the sky. Just like that, bro. That's why I got respect for veterans. That's why.
40, we appreciate your time, man. You got anything in closing?
Man, I just want to close out to y'all. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me, giving me an opportunity to be part of something that is good. You know, Swaggy Vets, y'all see it. Swaggy Vets, go on and subscribe to it. Become a member of it. You got to do, get your Swaggy vet gear, support the cause. You know, Jonesy, my man Jonesy and Penn, good that I think is going in for all veterans of all services. You don't just be in the army. You could be a military member and you know, just log on to it, man. The extended family is something that is not go away. It would only allow it to disappear. So reach out to your veterans out there, fellow veteran and veteran. Reach out, check on one another, continue to police each other up. You know, give them a safety brief over the phone. You know, y'all remember the safety brief over the phone, man. You know, and can check on one another, brother. But Penn, Jonesy, hey man, I appreciate it. This is my day. I hope I didn't do anything that violates any policy on my end as far as supporting the men in blue. But I tell you what, the questions y'all have asked me, I'm glad you asked questions, and I would answer those questions again, because it's something that veterans need to hear, and that to know there's a career out there for them if they're still looking for that structure that's not quite so military, but quite structured as if it was and has actions of a military.
100%. Well, we appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, love you, 40.